In this video, I will demonstrate how to compute the variance and standard deviation using a calculator and Microsoft Excel. The range is straightforward. The range is simply the highest minus the lowest. It's 74, and that will be the case for both the calculator and Microsoft Excel. But when it comes to computing the variance and standard deviation, for the calculator, the first step is we have to input the data into the calculator. And let me show you how this is done using a TI-30XS. And I do have videos that demonstrate how to perform these computations with other types of calculators. So step one is we have to enter the data into the calculator. To do that, we will use this feature here. We click on data and we are presented with three columns. We will enter the data into column 1, which is labeled L1. So let's do that. So I will enter 2, 10, 13, 18, 22, 25, 40, 63, 72, 76, and I believe that's all the data values. Once we enter the data, we then have to use the stat button. So we press second data. This will activate the stat button. We want to select one variable, statistics. L1 is selected. That's the column that contains our data. Leave frequency at 1. Use the down arrows to press on the calculate feature. And what's outputted is the standard deviation. So the standard deviation is 27. We'll round to the tenths, 27.1. And if we recall, the variance is the square of the standard deviation. So what we can do is let's go ahead and we're going to have to copy the 27.09427.984 and square it to determine the variance. So let's clear out that information and we will type 27.09427.984 and square. This is our standard deviation. We square this value to compute the variance and we end up with 734.1. So that's using the calculator. To use Microsoft Excel, there are built-in functions to compute the variance and standard deviation. To activate the functions, you have to click in an empty cell, press equals, and for variance, the function is called Vara. So we type in Vara, and then we select the array of numbers, close the parentheses, select enter. And we can see that we get a value that's this value would be more precise because we've rounded and we've squared the other value. And now to get the standard deviation, we type equals I call it St. Diva. It's an abbreviated form for standard deviation. We select the array of numbers, press enter, and we end up with, if we round it, to 27.1. And so that is how we compute the variance and standard deviation for raw data.